Hi, welcome back. Aurum here. Yes, finally, this is the last video of Luna Egg, and as you can see from the thumbnail, I'm changing the title. Instead of live stream reaction part 1, I decided to make that live stream reaction its own title. And the last video of each batch, like this one, will be called Thought on the Content or something. I haven't figured out the title yet. Anyway, again, as usual, this whole thing is impromptu. There's no script. I mean, I never had a script. So, by the way, but I do have some point that I write down. In this video, we're gonna talk about 4 or 5 things. First, yes, as I said during live stream reaction, Twitter post reading will be included here. After that, we're gonna check in-game mail as well, because again, the Twitter and in-game mail is related because of the whole birthday message. After that, I will talk about event, and then the final thought, and then the story of this patch. Without further ado, let's go in and find a suitable location to read a Twitter post. As you can see in top right corner, I already have Twitter open. But anyway, at the time of this recording, yes, I think the Sunny Summer Fontinalia is open, but I did finish the world quest, the moon. Nope. Yes, this quest I'm done, but I think I will upload this immediately after I finish making part 1 of version 7.0. We shall see. So let's do the Twitter post over here. Facing Maggie. Well, no, let's face Ibn Belum. Is that? Even though technically, I don't know, do we have and I'm sorry, I'm still coughing. So let's check Twitter post. Yes, this is the last post I read about Skyno in Heizo birthday. Now let's see what else after this post. First we have, oh, did I just click the post? No. What? The post disappear. Okay, so yes, Klee. 3 days later, Kirk Klee birthday. We're gonna read this in game as well after this Twitter post. Anyway, happy birthday, Klee. Poof poof. Wow, look of them go. That's the Dandelion seed. All the Dandelion seed are playing away. I blew and blew and blew. Now the Dandelion seed are going on a great big adventure somewhere far, far away. You want to try too? I can teach you, you know. You just go on like this. See, here, the biggest one is all yours. Let's send it on a really, really long trip together. And shortly, where is your mother banner, Klee? Or should I say future you? I don't know. Still a mystery there. Yeah, Klee. I wanna see what she said in the game. Shinobu here. Cookies Shinobu. Happy birthday. So you have discovered my secret hideout. Wait, you have secret hideout? But you should be the one so far, right? The bridge up on the roof is quite pleasant. The view is rather wonderful too, especially when a cherry blossom are in full bloom. I come up here to sit for a while. When I want to be alone, it calms me too. Now this hideout is a secret between you and me. I ask that you keep it to yourself. Oh, thanks to what? It's interesting. This one have a thanks for the. Is it different? Is it not official or something? This look like same art style. Anyway, BB remind me of that subgroup of Love Live. Anyway, what I'm saying. So where is this, the roof in some of, I don't know which house in Inazuma City, but yep, we haven't seen again Inazuma event. When Inazuma event? It's been a while since I've seen Inazuma character. Well, except for somehow Arataki Ito, who appear in Outcry in 2 event, I think. Anyway, moving on. Oh, okay, merchandise. We have Eula. Where is your buff, Eula? Your witch homework or something? No, not yet. Yoimiya as well. Well, is okay. After, I thought for sure back then the whole buff thing happened per region, but I guess not, because the witch revelation thing has nothing to do with where your character is compared to witch homework, which is specifically only Mondstadt. So where is Li Wei? Buff Inazuma buff. Yoimiya. Ayato as well. Wanderer as well, maybe. Al-Hatim is fine, I guess. Anyway. Okay. Yanfei birthday. Oh, you come just in the right time. The right time. I was actually going to put away this book, but couldn't help but start reading them. Take a look at this one. You can read about several interesting precedents here. Since you excuse me, since you are already here, why not sit down and look at this with me? I'll walk you through all of it one by one. Don't worry, I won't charge you a consultation fee, since today is a special day worth celebrating. Do I know this book? Red cover, I don't know. Again, I only read book when they mention the book itself. And so far, I haven't seen this one. At least I didn't read this one. Okay, okay. And Faye, I wanna see what you say. And then the special program, which I already upload, which is update tomorrow. I will set my foot in Snezhnaya in part 1. Anyway. Interesting. So yeah, calendar for August, I think. Arlecchino. Yep, yes, I did this event. Basically, this is a simple mini game. It just told you in which you finish the Archon quest that related to the Gnosis. I don't have that open, but it show you each player will have different death. For example, for Mondstadt 1, when you finish the last arc in Mondstadt, the same goes for Liyue, Sumeru, Inazuma, and Fontaine. But for the Cryo one, it's actually the Sumeru one, the last one we saw when we burned Irminsul. And yes, the Cryo is not here. So, I mean not Cryo, Pyro. The Pyro Gnosis is not here. So, what gonna happen with Project Studza now that Pyro Gnosis is missing? I assume, unless because of the Pyro Gnosis, unless it's kind of similar to Hydro one. Well, beside the whole the Hydro one, we know that the authority of the dragon is back to Nuvilet. So the whole Gnosis thing is just simply a vessel now. I mean the remain for the Hydro one. Meanwhile, the Pyro, of course, the vessel, the remain is also disappear currently. But about the authority is still, I guess it's still with. Actually, I don't know. When we go to Natlan at the end of Sumeru Archon quest, Mafika mentioned about power this, power that. So I don't know if she still has the authority or not. If not, then What about the authority? Is it go back to the Pyro Sovereign Dragon? Because last time we saw it, it was Abyss control. I don't know. Anyway, we will see. And what about Cryo Sovereign Dragon? Will you gonna see whatever that is? Excluding, you know, Inazuma, which I don't know what happened to Electro Dragon. And we have this, yes, one into Snezhnaya, Everwinter, and Odette August 12. I'm waiting for. Okay, I will talk about something in the game less after I'm done with this. And then we have this teaser which we saw in the live stream. This area basically, yes, the whole mini game thing. I don't know, we will see. We also have this during the live stream. We have this is just the name of the 7.0 patch, Everwinter without mercy. Somehow something happened to Paimon. I don't know, we will see. Hint hint, Asmodee, hint hint. Anyway, we also have, what is this? A chronic? Huh? This is a video. This is the land where wind and snow never cease, and it is this very frozen expanse that forged the nation known as Snezhnaya. Tempered by the bitter cold, this nation has never ceased to fight against fate. Okay, what is this? There's no link, so just a picture. Okay, Mualani, happy birthday. Hehe, see, I told you not one night sky is beautiful. I come out here with the little Saurian whenever I can't go to sleep. I can get to sleep. You lie back, watch the moon, frost moon, the new one, because before the event in Outcry, it's not the real one. Anyway, and punishment start as we can. And now that you two are here, how about we have a competition? Come on, let's see who can count the most star point. Just be clear. Just be clear. The loser pay a penalty. Alright, I got it. Loser treat everyone to a trip to hot spring. How that sound? We saw Mualani during the event. Dispatch the dance thing. Anyway, sorry, I'm still my still coughing still. New element, yes, new reaction, stellar swirl. It's another thing, bisa stellar swirl dimension, I don't know. This is a video we're gonna watch next video in part 1. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, let's see the description, this dialogue. Hello traveler, today let's bring. I don't usually did this something. No, this is not. This is the one with text. Hello traveler, today Odette bring a brand new performance, unlike anything we've seen from her before. Let's take a look at her sharp and dazzling side. Okay. So, Cryo can trigger Stellar Glimmer, which include Conduct and Swirl currently. Interesting. Swirl, I swear, Sandrone doesn't have that. We have party-wide glimmer reaction over both burst damage and off-field DPS. So yes, we have this thing, Swirl and Conduct. I wonder there should be another one then. I don't think this is the only reaction. If you remember the whole lunar thing, we have lunar charge, lunar bloom, lunar crystallize. So I assume you have 3 as well. I mean, Odette actually good for Sandrone, I guess, but then I don't. Saritsa will be the ultimate one, I guess, for Stellar Glimmer. We will see. What's this? Okay, just her stuff. tutorial and everything. Thank you for watching. Okay, that's not really important. It's just her skill and stuff, not about. What is this? Character introduction of Alyosha. I think this will be in the video. So yeah, we only have one 5-star in 7.0. I'm afraid I'll talk about this in the game when we talk about the banner. Anyway, sword, huh? Base attack, crit rate. Oh, it is our weapon. This is our weapon. The free one. Exile Panes. Exile Panes. Anyway, is this supposed to be referencing the heavenly principle obtained by progressing through the Archon quest? We have crit rate, traveler's path. When traveler equip this, hopefully this will be our new weapon in the cutscene. We're not using the I forgot the name. We'll see. The crit damage increase by 6% for every element they have resonate with. This is basically if you new player, you will have different effect than if you are already finished every single. Well, you the only one that lock. Excuse me. The only element that lock behind story is Natlan. The other one you can just interact with a Statue of Seven. Except maybe Inazuma. You need to go to Inazuma to do that. But maybe you can go to different world. You know your co-op. Can you do that? I don't know. Anyway. Additionally, the travel attack will also increase. Regenerate 5 elemental energy after the attack and hit an opponent. This attack can trigger every 5 seconds. This is level 1, right? I assume it's double. Do we get a copy of this? Oh yeah. Resonate with Statue of Seven to gradually enhance the weapon. Okay, interesting. So we need to explore. This is good for traveler. Anyway, another video I will watch next video. I mean next year and in part. We will read this description of this artifact in part 2. So we have Stellar Swirl. It's good for Miyuki. I mean Mizuki. Yes, maybe. We will see. It's so red. Scarlet Brook, and then we have this one. Interesting. So Glimmer is more general, right? It's include Conduct and Swirl, and it's good for a support. Wow, this is something we're gonna farm for support. Again, this thing. So we have 6 Harbinger left. As if they're gonna die. I know. So we know now that the roster is a new race, not a new race. The race that we've seen. No, the race that we will see for the first time in Snezh Naya. Domovov, I think that's the name of. It's like Gnome or something, I don't know. Cryo Traveler. This is the one we saw before. Adventure Guide. What is that symbol? Prime Eyes. Oh, a new companion, Eye of the Graye. We see the technology of ancient era. Capable of thinking and lazy. This is for exploration, I think. A greeting, Descender. I've analyzed you a unique characteristic of Snezh Naya for you. The cold of eternal winter, the vast frozen plain, and the unknown shadow. Yes, shadow realm. I will banish you to the shadow realm. What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? Anyway, so what is again the shadow realm? Something we never seen before. I don't think this is the realm of the abyss, or maybe it is. I don't know. We will see. This is interesting. I don't know how they will tie in this to the lore, because we never seen one. Never heard about this before as well. And why it's only in Snezhnaya? This one is Gamescom. Ooh, look at that. Are we gonna have every single Fatui, I mean Harbinger image here? This one is a rooster, a bird, somehow even feather. And the symbol is like, well, he is a mayor of Snezhnograd. So it makes sense we have this parliamental background. And not just that, it's look like, I mean, it's a chair and stuff. The voice in the fetch are getting louder and louder. Fetch, how do you say that? I don't know. Ian-san birthday. Beep. Since you agreed to try out the training, you should give it for attention. That goes for you too, Paimon. Even if the energy drink tastes great, don't drink too much in one go. I put together a training plan just for the two of you. Stick to it, and I guarantee you will get stronger and feel more energized. Alright, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, fire! Wait, different song. Anyway, Ian-san, we haven't seen her in a while. Yeah, is she? I don't think she. Maybe she is also the more fourth, but I don't think so. Anyway, here goes. Speak what it is. Audit of stage. Fatui agent. Rima, ballerina, Stellar Linspin. So I'm guessing we haven't seen the new character in the future, but Stellar Linspin, I don't think it's only Cryo. And I still not answer the thing during, I mean, in the whole quest. I didn't really. I mean, maybe in Snezhnaya we're gonna talk about this before during lifetime reaction, but we don't know why Stellar Linspin exists now. Shouldn't it exist elsewhere? I don't think this is similar to, unless this is similar to Moonwheel, the Stellar Linspin. Because of the whole third descender things only occur in Snezhnaya, because we know Snezhnaya is the land where actually no, the third descender die. I mean, we assume that whatever he or she is die. I mean, he, I guess, because he has a wife, not a wife. In Hymn of the Far North, we mentioned that he gonna wed Pakaisuko daughter. Oh, I'll talk about this in one of the video, I think. Anyway, so I don't know if that is the connection of why we only have Stellar Linspin in technically he died in Nordkrai, not Snezhnaya, but because Nordkrai was once part of Snezhnaya, I guess this was Stellar Linspin only occurred in Snezhnaya. I don't know. Anyway, once the curtain falls, Prima Ballerina Odette is rarely seen in public. This has kept her life beyond the stage, surrounded in Fatui, in mystery. Oh, that's the only thing. Oh, Feofan. I don't know if any of the Fatui will be playable now. The rest of the Fatui, I don't think the mayor, I mean, the rooster will be playable. But there is a chance, I guess, I don't know, to Feofan and the jester will be playable, or I don't know. We don't know. Everything has its price. Dottore, I mean, Zandik. Mysterious Fae, Forbidden Creation. I think this is supposed to be a thing. Oh yeah, Hoyoling, actually. Okay, so okay. Wait a minute. If that's the case, then the other video also linked to Hoyo. Oh, this was just the mini game. I wanna check the description that I didn't do anything about. I thought it was just one thing. I guess not. Which one is it? This one. No, it is a reaction. I don't care. Yeah, this one. The Chronicle of Snow. It should be a hoiling of this. Let's read. This is a land where wind and snow. That's basically what I said. I mean what the description said. Is there any other description? The frigid wind and frozen earth seem intent on extinguishing all life, yet the people answer the call to it defiance. Defying the cold. Okay, yes, we're gonna see train with steel and gears. They curve the beat of their own pulse into the promised land with lamplight and hard fire. Is the thing so? They carve out the warm, the wrong amid the bitter cold. Even back home in Morpesok, that's your hometown, child. A place surrounded by icy, people can just sit by fire and enjoy the aurora. Yes, aurora thing. Yes, I remember. And Arlecchino, not Arlecchino, the Arlecchino friend, the daughter of the knife before Arlecchino. I forgot her name. She's talking about the Snezhnaya aurora thing. Yes, we're gonna see Towser Antonia now, maybe. However, is on favor by the god. Interesting. They were no longer willing to abide. Which is interesting. They say this, but I guess it's only talking about this divine the god thing only occurred after the cataclysm, because we know ever since cataclysm, the heavenly principle seem to not care about Teyvat somehow. Even the great ruler, I mean, you know, the Ronova, Neberius and Istaroth doesn't really do anything after that, except for sometimes Istaroth doing stuff in the background. That's what I heard. I mean, what I have seen so far. If you remember Istaroth, Pashinanigan anyway. Zapo dari Palace. Oh, that's not. The mysterious encounter along the journey. Gnosis? Stusia? Yes, I remember this word, Misteltein. This Misteltein is a weapon technically used by something or someone in the Norse mythology. I don't know what this means to in Genshin. We will see. Oh, who is that? Is that supposed to be? It's not very clear. Is it supposed to be Saritsa on the stair floors, tempering the blade to challenge? It's Fatui base. Look at the Fatui symbol on top of the tower. Glupop. Oh yeah, Fatui headquarters. The Kuvaki experiment design bureau in outcry to Glupop. The goal of all this experiment is not only at all detail expert blah. Okay, Sandrone. Wealth, the fuel that the North Bank. We're gonna see a lot of famous building here, but that somehow everywhere in Teyvat, including North Bank, Northland Bank, and of course Adventurer Guild, the headquarters. Where is the cornerstone? Misandrone. Jawaban said. No, the Fece is the council. Okay. Interesting. They have council in actually they democracy. I think I don't know. Silent. The matter of pain is the discussion regarding Project Shuja or Snezhnaya. The struggle of Snezhnaya. The first the first Karyo Archon, we know this what this name, Belisar. So I don't know if Saritsa is the second one, but we know the first one. One sought to build a nation unbound by the heaven, but in the end, the chapter of history now lie dormant alongside him within the pale crown. I don't know. Will we see the model for Belisar? Oh, okay, this is where we saw the thing. But amid wind and snow, a creation from age of the Belisar is the first to awaken ahead of history itself. An ancient voice is slowly echoing, what? What is this? A creation from age of Belisar. Hint, hint. I don't know. We'll see. A creation transcend the sender who are. Oh, this is the eye of, yeah, the whole minigame thing. Okay. See, I supposed to click the link, I guess. Maybe that's what happened in the other post before. I don't think something like this have any link to. Yep, happy birthday, Buriduday Mualani. Who is that said? Yeah, moving on. This one that I want, this was just a reaction. I don't need to watch that. The one that I wanna see is, which one is it? This one, Kayo Traveler. Probably a hireling of this, yes. Hello. So okay, are you sure we only have a Stellar Conduct and Stellar Swirl? What about, I don't know, we'll see. The traveler will master the power to trigger Stellar Glimmer. Contains Biting Frost. We also have this weapon, Exai Panes. Interesting name, has Panes in it. And a symbol of star. Master new power and trigger Stellar Glimmer reaction. We have Saritsa statue there. So this is confirmed then. The statue of the Seven is based on the current Archon image. And I guess it was very obvious the moment. Actually no. Can we go to Natlan? I remember Kachina mentioned, is the statue changed? And Kachina mentioned that it's always been Mafuika. That's weird, right? What about the other Pyro Archon before Mafuika? Again, I don't know. I still remember what Kachina mentioned when we first encounter the Pyro statue in near the Children of Echo, I think, that statue over there. So I don't know. Is the statue changed by itself or something? We didn't really have an answer for that. Because the reason being. Anyway, let's just talk about it later. Swirl Conduct for the time being. Alyosa. I think we're gonna get Alyosa for free. So he is an off-field electro. Okay, that buff Stellar Conduct, meaning that good for Sandron, I guess. I think that's what, I don't know. I didn't really see anything. Didn't really say anything about that, but yes, Alyosa, you're anyway. I was gonna say his eyebrow is black, but that's makes sense. I think. Oh yeah, that is different. The Statue of Seven, it's nice they have this star shape thing. Anyway, I don't know. This long sword that's one shone with the light of the very star. I've seen this sword was used by other descender before. Maybe Sarah Elainen? I don't know. And that's it. Interesting. Moving on. This is something we're gonna see. This one I don't really care about mini game. Maybe actually no. They usually have some dialogue that's talking about lore in this as well. Yes, Gerayae is used to, yeah, of course I forgot about this. Is the whole thing with the Death Stranding thing. I don't know how that works. The whole like and this like the like thing with I don't know how that works. We will see. Crystic Energy. Yeah, I remember this basically similar to Dragon Spine, but better. I hope. Jumping, which we've seen a few times in every gadget, in Outcry, in the moon as well. What is this? Yeah, this thing. This is Death Stranding. What is this supposed to be? Pugna. But yeah, tips. Okay. If other can see message we send, shouldn't be able to see there too. Yeah, the whole thing. What is this? The Death Stranding thing. How perceptive of you, Miss Paimon. There may be mechanic pointing toward hidden treasure. Oh, this is kind of like actually instead of Death Stranding, this is more like Soul. You know, the message in Dark Souls series. Starlight Prism. Interesting. What? How did from Frostbite provides legion reaction combat to alter nearby construct. Public train. Yes. We should talk about train if we go to metro. If we go to Moscow, Snezhnograd. Interesting, we will have some facility inside. Okay, we can talk to Catherine using that. Okay. As if this is interesting. This is basically some a mobile thing. What am I saying? Basically, imagine if Catherine, workbench, and every single thing you do daily in this strain that can be included. Oh, what interesting! What is this? Your memory of your adventure is Nesnaya. Okay. And this thing, I don't know what that is. The whole thing. New combat. Pew pew pew. Shadow Realm. I don't know how important this is to the story. We will see. How do you again? This is really hard on mobile, at least for me. Even though I will use controller, but still. Well done, you mastered the fundament of combat. How can I ability begin the following? Blah blah blah. It's just okay. I don't really care about that stuff for the time being. Move next. Yansan, that for your fun. Yeah, this is the one I want to see. Originally. Let's see. So I was right when I talk about we never seen Jack Frost before when we do the story quest of Linnea. So I finally see the actual Jack Frost. Five are the creature crafted by the artist. Huh? What? Five are the creature crafted by the artisan of Hyperborea using authority of creation. I mean, yes, I guess. So authority of creation is kind of similar to what I learned this when I do the world quest, the moon one. The moon goddess able to do this. I believe angel as well. Because if I remember, Koitar, the first angel, the dawn star, morning star, something, actually in Hyperborea. And we also know that canon, is it? The Frost Moon Goddess is actually leading the Hyperborean for a second, basically not for a second. So remember what happened after Columbina stuff at the end of Archon Quest Act 4, Act 8 in Luna 4. So what happened to Canon, Arya, and Sonnet is interesting, because after that scene they go back to the press they leave the prison, and Arya immediately die because there's no not the Eternal Moon, I don't know the name, and Sonnet, you know that she the whole thing with Abyss thing. I remember that the Iridescent Moon. Meanwhile, Canon, because Frost Moon still exists, she basically the goddess that was mentioned by Hyperborean back then, because she also the one who in Death Note, Hymn of the Far North, she was the one before Kutar, before Columbina. I think Columbina is number 22 and she is number 21, I believe. That's because she lead Hyperborean for I don't know how long, until she also die because Columbina. Anyway, yeah, that's something I learned when I read the Hymn of the Far North. Anyway, yes, I actually, yes, for Dianitsa is a mermaid. Oh, sorry, is she gonna replace? So remember Sangonomiya Kokomi, the fish? I wonder how. I mean, she probably Hydro, right? We'll see. If she able to transform into a fish, if that's the case, then I wanna see the gameplay. Anyway, after the fall of Hyperborea, a similar technology flourished in Snezhnaya, alchemy, from which chimeric monster were. Yes, we also learned about this alchemy thing. There's one alchemist that was told in one of the artifacts that we read. This enchantment of something, I forgot the name. In that story, we also learn about the silver-haired maiden, which I assume that's Saritsa, but I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna say this creation, the Chimera thing, the alchemist, which currently is forbidden in Snezhnaya, I think. Issue guide. This issue is dedicated to adventurer heading to Snezhnaya. Only knowing this land well, you can get the answer. Rare creature, little is known, awaiting discovery, unknown. Oh, what? Investigation. Jack Frost. Approach difficulty 1. Volakodak, Villa, Domofov. Yes, Domofov is part of the creature. Interesting. Neighbor who see each other all the time. Basically, this is pretty much humanoid. I mean, they can speak. We have Snegovic and Lazy. Crossing distance to explore love and life, and then the Chimera is the one we're gonna fight as a general monster, I guess. Unleash creature. Oh, is this Linnea the one who made this list? Actually, that makes sense. This issue feature as entire main creature as well as few unmentioned one. Lantern Fae, the water imp. Oh, also she a water imp for Dianissa, but it look like a mermaid. I don't know. Water imp is, I don't know. It's more like a siren, I guess, because of their melodious voice. Siren. Anyway, the Lantern Fae is, we know who that is. They are too rare with limited information, awaiting further exploration. The adventurer. Recently, songs have been echoing from Sisa. This is Dianitsa. Now let's see Jack Frost. This is the default form of Jack Frost beside Lumi. Interesting. This is interesting because I remember during the story quest we talk about Lumi, but then I assume Paimon and us kinda look like we know about Jack Frost even though we never seen one. Anyway, non-aggressive, blah blah blah. Oh, the whole thing. This is the sword we get, the ice cream thing. Lumi, Jack Frost who once lived here. Okay, so this is, oh, So this is Volkodak. One favor by Beldisar for their combat prowess. They have since stepped away from the center of power, yet their gang remain active on the street. I remember I seen one that looked like I forgot the name. Fox, that game. Anyway, this is I wonder how people react with this. But again, you know what I mean, right? Anyway, okay, that location is important, whatever that is, wherever that is. We have Villa. Okay, so Villa is a fairy. Yes, Druzna. But okay, I guess the blade of the Saritsa. What does this mean? Valiant and battle hardened. Okay, so this is Vesna as well, right? Vesna race. Since the era of there's so many Fae in, I mean, yeah, the Vesna. Oh, it's the location, Druzna headquarter. Okay. We have Domovoy. Yes, this is the first time I learned what Domovoy is when I read the artifact in that disenchantment of something. Because the apprentice and the mentor of the silver hair maiden is a Domovoy. Yes, Pulcinella. I keep forgetting his name. Pulcinella. The short in stature but possess exceptional wisdom. Mayor. Presiding, yes, Fatui Harbinger of the suburb of Svetlolodevka. There's a Domovoy of extraordinary skill. Okay. Local legend. Okay. And what is this? Snegovic is the one we saw. Yes, I think we saw one in Shutdown. And also in during Linnea Tori quest. Are born with the power of to command ice and snow. They so incomplete. They spend their life in pursuit of love. Okay. It's said that the Snegovic Lord has found her true love and is about to hold a grand wedding. What? Are we gonna have the whole because of this? House of Herperides. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I know the word Lassie. Because this is The Witcher. I mean, we know that The Witcher is from, I mean, the legend is the same. It's from the same, you know, the influence, the reference, the influence of the folklore in Slavic country, I guess. Almost not as ever with the full life of Lassie. They are ancient and silent and live in city. Yes, there's 3 people. In a recent year, oh, is she also a Lassie? Lassie NPC person, Lassie combat, I mean enemy person. Okay, this area, yes, I remember this area in the map. I mean in the live stream. Oh, it's close to Morpesok, which is child hometown. And we have Legacy of Alchemy. Once upon a time, researcher. Okay, it's with S. What is this? Look at this one. The one that look like Tigrex with Kabuto face. What I'm saying is Arataki probably surprised if he saw this combination of Kabuto. I mean beetle with a wolf or something and something else. I don't know. Anyway, you know, Chimera is Chimera. Interesting that, you know, the concept of Chimera is combining 3 creatures at the same time, right? We all seen one, lion, bird, and snake. So interesting that they have different form of different, you know, combination. We will see. Oh, Bandersnatch. Okay, that's interesting. Furiosa as well. This is all of the folklore in, I mean, makes sense. That's how been like that. Immortal Construct. Chimeric Wing. This is the 2 boss we're gonna fight. I mean, we're gonna see stuff. So they dwell in the outskirts. The secret of their birth seems tied to a certain research conducted by the what? Is this the thing that we mentioned before? The ancient treasure that that awaken. The whole thing with Belisar. I don't know. We're gonna see that. Anyway, interesting. We're still reading, by the way. It's almost an hour. What? This is so long. Maintain overview. Banner. Amber. Happy birthday. This little one just boom to the 3 brains. What hour now? It's almost reset. So we're gonna see it as reset in game. Little one just bomb into the 3 branch. It only recently learned to fly, so it still can't quite control where it's going. Good thing I was carrying some medical supply with me. There. Let me just put a bandage on, and you will be no time. Come to think of it, flying really isn't easy. I still remember back when you were in Mustard. Hey. Okay, this whole tutorial glider. Anyway, did you saw Amber before when we go to I don't remember. Yes, it's a video I will watch. This is the banner. Is limited time area. What? I think we still not complete with the interesting. I don't think we ever seen the limited time area exploration reward that occurs simultaneously. So including this one, we still have the moon exploration, which included as well as part of 7.0 limited time exploration reward, which I have not complete because I have only finished the story only. Oh, Piero. Yes, why I remember suddenly his name, Piero. Yes, the jester. Today's we have the Fatui. We didn't even see him in the SNES trailer. I don't know who are you? Are you the kid? I don't know. Actually, anyway. Oh, what is this? Crunchyroll. Okay, sure. And we have Mika birthday. Curious about what else I do out in field besides surveying. Sometimes I play a few little games to pass the time. For example, I like making a paper airplane. Watching them take off alongside the bird almost make it seem like they have been a race. How about we have a little competition too and see which paper airplane can fly further? They may look simple, but the way you fold a paper airplane can actually affect how far it will fly. Here, let me give you a demonstration. Okay? They may look simple, but the way you fold a paper airplane can actually affect how far it will fly. Here, let me give you a demonstration. Okay? I will check all of the birthday in the game. One day, Odette image. This whole thing was music box kind of thing of ballerina. And yes, Wonderland. I only get this one, the free outfit they always get. Just give single time. And that's it. All the Twitter posts we learn about something in SNES Naya. We're gonna see them today. Technically today we almost. This is the day of the update. Now let's check in-game mail because again, birthday meaning that in-game mail. Let's go from the one I have checked. What is this? Birthday, daily. Code redeem. Click. I want to play the answer or you toss game with Prune again today. And this time she made a toast snake I never seen before. I haven't met Prune in Windrest Peak, by the way. Not because I haven't seen her, I didn't actually check. You only see I forgot his name. Anyway, he said come from her hometown in. But she said it come from her hometown in North Cry. Prune is North Cry. What? But she has. Should I know this? Maybe I should. I just don't remember. She has a Mondstadt vision. Array. Anyway. I don't know how to spell the rest, and the cake is called Midsummer. I can't remember the whole cake name either. but it smelled so good and it was all soft and fluffy. I love it, and the dog will love it too. So I asked Brunei to make a lot of more meat stick egg. I have decorated all the cake and I want to share them with everybody. Miss Cat Lady, aka Diona, come to. She said once she do delivering. Oh no, Miss Cat Lady is Kirara. She said once she done delivering Miss Marjorie package, she will take some cake to all other little witches. You and I might wanna eat some with me too, right? Please. They are soft and fluffy, and once you eaten a lot, your tummy will get around and squishy. Like, but this is not mid-sleek cake. Oh, midsummer torte, yeah, this is claim. Shinobu, an informal invitation. Oh, speaking of invitation, I have not done that thing. At the end of Sunny Summer Fontinalia, I was trying to do. Well, I think I will do that in part 1 or maybe part 2. We will see. The questing when you get Sandrone, I haven't done that. Anyway, in previous year, the boss and the other always keep their surprise preparation hidden from me. This time though, they asked me to review the celebration plan and the request for funding in advance. They said it was because they want to invite you to join us. I checked the schedule and shopping list item by item. Surprisingly, everything was reasonable and properly arranged. Maybe you should keep an eye on the planning. There is still one potential problem. They left the final item on the schedule as a surprise, and no matter what I said, they refused to show me the detail. Not that I particularly want to know about what they might be planning this time, but I do know that the boss and the other genuinely want to make you feel welcome. Whatever they can do, they will do their best. That's why I agreed to help and write this invitation. It's nothing formal, but if you have some free time, feel free to stop by. And don't worry, whenever happen, I'm maybe never gonna see them. But yes, Omurice Waltz. Rem, Yanfei, someone to watch with. Okay, no, this is what I call a good timing. I'm in Fontaine on business, and I just happened to arrive during. Well, we didn't see you, Yanfei. You were part of the film Clue last time, weren't you? So this is confirmed that we currently a year from the. So the film Fontaine Festival from the last one is basically the whole Fontaine. I'm saying is at the end of Fontaine story up until the Sunny Summer Fontaine is a year game time, which is weird because I don't know, because of the whole we always have Lantern Ride every year, so I don't know the time. I mean, those things not really in the game. The last one is, but the other one is not permanent, so it didn't count. And I guess the event as well didn't count because it not really permanent, except for this one, the Sunny Summer Fontinalia, which we're not really a part of. We mostly focus on Sandrone. Anyway, I obtained very important information through entirely legal and fully compliant means. I don't spend every walking hour in Laubuk to search the paving stone, you know. I'm also a devoted leader of Steambird. Besides, knew about you tend to travel fast. Well, I am famous. So will you be involved again this year? And is there anything you can tell me about the film? Nothing confident, of course. I simply interested in which one feature anything related to the law. To the law. The whole thing with the detective, the one, the Lily Cruz Ordo, which technically, you know, Narcissus Cruz Ordo. Anyway, once I know there is screening time, I can arrange my Hurlock, yes, Detective Hurlock. Once I know the screening time, I can arrange my work accordingly and enjoy them without any distraction. Better yet, perhaps you could join me. I will bring plenty of crisps, snack, and refreshing drink. Good company, the movie should always come prepared. After all, well, shall we go? Phase O. This is her specialty. My way. Claim. We have Moalani. I wanna sunbathe. Is it again? So far, none of the dialogue mentioning the one in the Twitter. Yoo-hoo, summer is my absolute favorite season. All right, you know it's been one big party around here recently, from the beach to the open water, and even underwater. And I'm not exaggerating when I say the people of the spring have been throwing parties everywhere, all day long, from morning till sundown. To make sure Prepper has the best time possible, I am stocked the shop with ton of new stuff. I brought in floater and shopboard, of course, and also some new swimsuit and sunglasses. And since they all handpicked by me, you can be sure they are both stylish and practical. I was gonna pick out a few pieces for you and Paimon, but then I was like, this one really cute, but that one super cool. And so I just went ahead and set aside one of the every style for the two of you. Come try them on and see if they fit. Just imagine the three of us wearing our little shark sunglasses, sipping at our cold drink and soaking up in the sun while lazing on the back of Coholosaurus. If the Coholosaurus is okay with that is, maybe next year we have a summer outfit for traveler. Maybe. We never know. Yeah, what else? Do you have three more? Ian-san, wanna come work out? Haven't seen you around for a while. Yes, exactly. We haven't seen Ian-san for a while. But I see that you found some time to come work out today. Many of my trainees tell me they feel their scalp tighten and sweat pouring the moment they hear this word. Don't that sound familiar to you? I used to think that training are the only ways to succeed, but that the result more than justify the effort. But lately, I have come to realize that setting the bar too high can have the detrimental effect on the trainer motivation, making it harder and harder for them to keep going over time. Saying like it's time for me to tweak my approach of training. I'm planning to add some lightweight activity to the schedule, even something as simple as a 10-minute walk after dinner or a few easy stretch before bed would do. Those actually count as exercise too. Do you have any other suggestion? And since you're already here, why not come by and knock out a few sets? Can I keep eye on you? Form to... What am I saying? No more workout. I forgot to do the survey. I will do survey after I finish this on my own. Amber, see you up there. I've discovered a secret can only be seen from the sky. A few days ago, I was gliding over Millhaven on patrol and looking down at the flower field. Then, as I was about to land, I caught the view from a certain angle with sunlight shining just right. And the flower field had actually formed the shape of a rabbit. Really? The ear, the tail, and all perfectly clear. What was that a coincidence? Or some gardener latest masterpiece? Or could it be a birthday surprise from me, from Baron Bunny? Hey, whatever the truth is, I didn't want to keep a few this wonderful to myself. And you were the first person I thought of. The spot isn't easy to find, and you know what I can do this for you justice. You are for today? Can we see this in Millhaven? I don't know. Rabbit? What do you mean, Amber? Anyway, claim. Lastly, Mika, protecting your gear from cold. Okay, talking about Snezhnaya. I heard some time ago that our esteemed honorary knight plans to travel across all 7 nations. By now, you must be getting close to Snezhnaya, am I right? I am in the moon, further away from Teyvat. Anyway, all the moon standard who's been to Snezhnaya say the cold there is quite different from what we experience at Dragonspine, so please make sure you are well prepared for that. In prolonged dry cold, the property of metal component can change and your equipment may give out before you do. Fortunately, there's a way around that. Applying a thin, even coat of flaming essential oil can help mitigate the effect of extreme cold on sword and other weapon. and thus prevent them from becoming brittle hollow. Doing this with letter gold can also keep the letter supple so that they won't snap the moment you pull on them. I hope this little tip come in handy, especially since the gear you're using must be quite valuable and will so need extra care and attention. Also, the Grandmaster mentioned that we have planned to send a few knights on the study visit to Snezhnaya soon, and I'm on the list. Who knows, maybe we'll see each other again in Snezhnaya. Well, we'll see you in the event, maybe we will see. And that's it with the in-game mail reading. Finally, yes, you can see they just reset. Anyway, let's move to the area of the event. Let's talk about the event. We have 3 mini events beside the Sunny Summer Fontanelle itself. So I think the first event I do was something in a Fontaine. Oh, the ship is gone. What? No, I cannot tell you guys where. Maybe I can still check the thing inside. I don't know, we will check. Oh, what the... I was gonna show you that I finished everything. I complete the... Well. If I didn't finish that quest, it's still there because it's permanent. But I decided to finish it. Well, I didn't know about that. They actually disappear. Again, I will check the Meropide just to see if we can still see, the ship. Winglet. So this is the location of the event. Final long range sight line. Let's talk about the combat itself is interesting. We basically become a bullet who travel. After we hit, we able to change direction, which is interesting. I don't know why. The story itself is a simple story where Casca visit Fontaine and they meet with Severus. Not to mention we also have Favonius Knight partake this event. In the Favonius Knight we saw is actually the one we saw in one of the other event. I think it was the Windbloom one. The one when Farka come back in Farka story quest. And also I remember seeing her or him in Windrest Peak in the Favonius headquarters. I forgot the name. And we also see the 2 characters we saw multiple times, Turena and Eigi or something. I forgot the name. The Melusine. And apparently the Melusine, I forgot the name. Eunice. She retired from the thing, and now Turena will be the one who I don't know. I found it interesting because we learned about them in the beginning, where I think the first event with them was the Boko Bini. Yes, when the Sumero Pokemon thing end up in Fontaine. That's first time I see Turena, I think. So ever since then we know about them in multiple events, and now Turena become the one who will teach the new cadet. And meanwhile, Eugene, I forgot the name, is currently after this event we have another event where she visit the Summer Breeze in Natlan alongside other Melusine. So yeah, that's all of the ship, and it's simple. The story about that, I think the combat itself is interesting, simple. I don't know if we're gonna see that again. I thought for sure it's a sniping contest, but it's not. It's interesting, different gimmick. The second event is actually the music. Yes, the music again. This is the moment where I changed the 30 FPS into 60 FPS, because when you play in 30 FPS, the note is just glitchy. I don't know why. So I changed my in-game setting to 60 FPS after that, and I still in 60 FPS currently. I don't know if you can see any different because it's mobile, so I don't know. The screen record probably have some limitation, but anyway, the next event after this beside the 2 event, we're gonna go to Natlan in Summer Breeze area. That is where we saw where Eugene take vacation, and not just Eugene, not just Melusine, we also meet with Barbara, who visit the Mondstadt. So a first time we see Bennett and a few people, the father. We have Barbara here, and we seen Kachina again in a while. We also see who else beside Barbara, Kachina, and Mualani. We saw there's one more person I forgot, and I believe the location of the event was actually over here. Over here, this is the area of the event. I believe I took a picture from there. Yeah, this event is a second time we have this one, which is Dance Revolution event. The title also similar, Dance PC Breezy Disco. We seen the character again from the NPC from the other one. But this time we have we also seen what her name again from Zubair Theater. I forgot her name. I forgot her name. Basically, yes, we seen about the day. We learn about how Barbara talking with. I forgot her name. Zubair Theater. The red hair girl. But yeah, well, the main focus is not actually Barbara. I think it's the whole Melusine dialogue. That's very interesting. We have I think Marine, Eugene. We have someone from People of Spring who are the one who invite the Melusine to this event. Who else? The thing they talk about is interesting. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is just simply characterization for the NPC and I guess playable character as well. We seen Kachina for the first time after we never seen her in a while. She cooking something. Barbara sitting, and Mualani just there. She was in Atlan. I was in the event in Atlan. I forgot who is the name of I guess we can check. So if you go here, we actually have no, that's not it. If you go to the event list, we also have this Stella Fortuna, the new one. And I did, yes, Nilu, yes, we see Nilu. Anyway, speaking of this, the only character besides Standard Bender is Xian Yun. Next year, however, when Natlan Cast release, I have most of Natlan characters somehow. Anyway, so next year will be a bit different. That's all of the event, mini event. Now let's go to the final thought by the let's talk about the final thought score for Dispatch in the new area we just unlocked, A Lane Home. So I give so we have two stories. What the? It's moved here. Nani? The piano move here. Anyway, I haven't visited this again after the event done, which is yesterday. So they move here the piano permanently. Okay, while we talking, let's just play the piano. You can, right, Sandrone? Because you are the one who should be. Yes, it's only able to be played by Sandrone, by the way. If you don't own her, haha, it's like to be you. Anyway, final thought. So I give the Sunny Summer Fontanilia 8.1. Meanwhile, the World Quest in the Moon, I give it 8.8. Yes, a lot. I like the World Quest more. I always like World Quest more than Main Story somehow, because the lore is more detailed. I mean, The world quest is more of the world building. That's why it's more interesting to me compared to the main story, because main story is talking about what the currently happening, right? Meanwhile, world quest is always been involving about something to happen in the past multiple times, which is interesting. So overall, for Luna Egg, I give it 8.5. All of the content, including everything, but for individual story, 8.1 for Sunny Summer Fontanelia, which I think it is supposed to be Sandrone story quest, because we mostly with Sandrone instead of the crew, the whole film crew thing. And I give the world quest, the moon gazing, 8.8. So that's all the way of final thought. Now let's move about the actual detail of the story itself. Let's begin with Sunny Summer Fontinalia. So this story is begin with similar. The trigger is basically the film festival itself, which I find it interesting, even though we don't really do that. And by the way, it's so bright, this red color. It's very bright. Most of the time we do in this quest, story quest, is basically Sandrone learning about how she called anomaly her emotion. She called her emotion anomaly, which is interesting. Even though, what about the whole image in here? I wanna see the. Oh, it's here. The image here. Oh, what? They move it here inside of the ship. So this was inside the ship before. I really wish we see Mary Ann, but we don't. So anyway, and Aspias Polonia is here, interestingly, as a remnant. I want to sit down. Let's talk about the story. Yes. I like this story. This basically again Sandrone story quest. We learn about how she deal with her. It's not really that much. The event is not. The story itself is not really long. The longer part is actually managing the aquarium. Anyway, in part 1 we just the trigger where we become the crew again. Even though we don't do anything with the crew, we only do the lightning once and that's it. It's basically just this is about Sandrone and Colombina in a sense. Well, Colombina as well in the other side of the thing. In Act 2 we learn about again, that's where when she deal with her emotion thing, so she just accept the emotion, which I assume that was obviously because why she called it error in the beginning. Maybe that's just how she described the emotion, but then again we know that she always assumed there, so I thought that's basically her emotion. This is her personality, the emotion, and in the end she just accept it. It doesn't count it as error. So the whole thing, when she reborn, she mentioned that she cannot meet Colombina because of her error thing, but in the end it's never a problem in the first place. In turn, we just learn about the whole thing, how she was born, how she become, the Fatui, I guess. We learn how that in one of the segment we saw her attending this tea party with another harbinger. We saw, rest in peace, Rosalind. We see Capitano there, Alequino, child, and also Colombina eating, which is interesting. That's, I don't know, this the whole dialogue is interesting. We learn about the whole, basically the whole Alain gifting stuff, the whole second chance. Even someone didn't know about that. Is very interesting. And again, I wish we see Mary Ann, the one from the Ordo World Quest, with Sermon, currently somewhere. I don't know what happened to them, because the image over here is exactly look like Mary Ann. The outfit is the same as the NPC Mary Ann. The only difference is blue, the color of the hair, instead of because of the oceanic thing. And yeah, which I What else I can say? In Act 3, basically when she reunite with Colombina, and not to mention that's also where the film ending. The winner is apparently, yes, Lepin Pauline. Lepin Pauline is the NPC, one of the NPC that evolved so much. She first appeared as one of the NPC quest giver in Fontaine, and then her role is evolved. I don't know how. When we first time heard her voice in one of the Fontaine quests, remember when we managing the venue thing in, I don't remember which part. Basically, I think it's 5.3 or 5.4 where we see Kinich as well visiting Fontaine, and of course Ororon and what his name, I forgot, the doctor. In that quest we saw first time Lepin Pauline with voice, and then the next scene we see have apprentice, which also one of the visitor of the aquarium. I think her name is, I don't remember, start with M or something, or F. Anyway, she wear glasses, that's what I remember. But anyway, so now she become a director alongside Xavier, and we lost. And it makes sense because, yes, so the two film is different. The one that Xavier made is more like a sad story, is more like an adventure story, where is more like emotional story compared to Lepin Pauline story, which is action flick, which is interesting because it's the story about the book Detective Hurlock, which we heard multiple times when we talked to NPC in Fontaine. And if I remember, that Hurlock thing, Sandrone is the one who said this, I think is actually a real story based on Narcissus Ordo. All the character there is just rename of the Ordo character. I think the one who made this story is Jacob. Actually, I don't remember. Which is interesting because they actually a book about, I don't know, do we have a book in archive about Hurlock? I don't think so. I hope we will, because yeah, I don't know. And the event end with, I don't remember how the event end. In Act 3, I think it end with Colombina and Sandrone, right? Meeting, unless I think no, we actually talk with, oh, and also, yes, the outfit, we have outfit, right? The outfit that Charlotte used is mostly available during the whole event because she part of the film crew, the Hurlock herself. She play as Hurlock. Meanwhile, Jet Lali, she only seen her using that pajama once when we see her for the first time, and that's it. We never seen her using that outfit again. I thought for sure Colombina will have the outfit because she the main focus in the film, at least for the star of Xavier's story, but no, Jet Lali, who's not even part of. Well, oh yes, I forgot about Jet Lali. Yes, we also do something about the whole Elaine thing. So we helping Elaine, the whole thing with the Ordo thing. We facing this still, basically the rest of the experiment by Jacob, and maybe including the one in the World Quest, in the Archon Quest we saw back then in Fontaine. Though, you know, the turning people into Oceanic thing. We have a conclusion of that, I guess, that the people is now back to Leyline after, you know, turning into Oceanid. That's the one who died by that experiment. The whole thing, remember Fontaine World Quest, Archon story, and also Jacob experiment. And that's about it, I think, about Sunny Summer of Tenalia. It's not really, we learn about one thing though. Stellar Spin originate from still the same, just like Gnosis, and also we learn, I guess, Vision also the same. They technically have connection to the third descender. That's something we're gonna learn more in SNES, yes, I hope, especially Stellar Spin. Hopefully they're gonna explain that. Now moving on to the next quest, Moon Gazing. Let's go to the moon. I really like this one. Not to mention it's fully voiced. Hopefully they do this. And it makes sense why it's fully voiced now. Because this world quest is related to Traveler. Again, I only do the quest, as you can see here. I haven't visited whatever that is. It's not part of the main quest. Yes, all of this mostly not the part of the main quest. You only visit Ibnu Belum, Eye of the Ibnu Belum. We visit Anjin Circle, and we visit Moonstide Sea, including the Dead Moon. I mean, Dead Star reference here. 72%. Nani, there's nothing here. I mean, it's look huge, but there's not really any explorable area, I guess. So I wanna go here. So as you can see here, there's a segment where we cannot leave. We can leave the area, but they have this mechanic where if you leave this area, the protected area, you basically die. But if you look at this, the Traveler crater where our ship is, this is one of my wanna see, is outside of this protected area. So how do we enter this? Maybe there's another quest that I need to do to make me able to go to visit Traveler crater, because we have meeting point. You discover a strangely familiar tower. What the? Familiar tower? What do you mean? I wanna visit this. I never seen this. What is Nur Stone? Nur is mean light. It's kinda remind me of the world quest in Tolan. Nur. They also mentioned Nur in Tolan, if I remember. Which is interesting. I haven't visited that. There's also another one when I check the map again. Yes. Another one. Ancient Moon Remnant. Ancient Moon Remnant? Technically there's one more. If you go here, if you go here, you can see we have the object in the space, the Space Life Form Capture Station. I want to explore that because we still have one more thing, the terminal here that we haven't unlocked. The ship, this is Moon Gazer ship, the ship that was used by Engine to travel to search for the signal. We found out that the signal is basically telling us, I want to teleport. The one that told us about the abyss. I assume the Dark Destroyer, Annihilator, or whatever is actually abyss, abyssal energy or something, which is interesting. The whole threat of abyss. This is very much lore. What is this? What the? Is Paimon the one who? Okay, interesting. If you like the story, you understand what this means. What the? Paimon actually bring the snake for Ninin. Bisa them slime. They all for you, Eggy. This is for. I think Paimon the one who did this. Oh, look at the Saurian face. I didn't expect we have that, but yeah. So anyway, what was I saying again? This quest is very lore. Again, world quest always been lore heavy. From this quest, we learn a lot about the moon landing by dragon, where this is the era after the god, which is Nibelung, left Teyvat, and so. And also this is the reason why the firmament, I think, the firmament was creation of one of the dragon. Technically, it's not technology by the heavenly principle. On this quest, we also learn about when the Panes, the heavenly principle, arrived in Teyvat. On this quest, we also learn about, again, there's many civilizations in the universe, and they have one common enemy, which is the abyss. We don't know the origin of the abyss, but we don't know how. We didn't really get an explanation how did Nibelung come with the abyss to Teyvat. We can only assume that he encountered the abyss somewhere in one of the destroyed planet, I guess. There's also one of the artifacts, Celestial Gift, that mention about the whole situation as well with the Descender Voyager. We also, in that artifact, I learned that the Voyager is a she. but somehow married with Koitar. How? I don't know. Maybe there's another artifact that told this, but I haven't read them. But yes, Koitar and Seter Koinen, which is the Voyager. Somehow it's a she. I don't know what that means. And we also learned at the end, the big twist about this world quest is that the message that we sent. So this whole Moon Gazer project was pretty much about sending signal, just like what they received. So this dragon received signal from other civilization about a warning about the abyss, and also to show them that they're not alone as a civilization in this vast universe. And that's the Project Moon Gazer. This whole thing remind me of a few film and game. The first game I can think of is Outer Wild. The whole signaling there stuff. If you play Outer Wild, you understand how important the signal is in that story, in Outer Wild story, including the DLC. And also a lot of film that the whole space I love space. I love space story which involve about how civilization was created, how they advance, how they move forward. And this is one of those world quests that I feel I can identify myself of, because of what I like about the whole galaxy and space, in the sense that it's simple story that I'm sorry, I'm currently recording. But still get the twist, the signal that we send at the end. Also, they reveal that this process, this whole Moon Gazer, is always been happening ever since the frost moon outside of the firmament, meaning that Teyvat has been sending signal over and over throughout the century, throughout millennia. I think maybe 6,000 or 5,000 years, I don't know. And the whole, we also learn again, like I said, the firmament stuff is a technology by the dragon to hide. Originally it was to hide the whole Teyvat, so that just in case the signal, basically to hide from the abyss. That's what the goal is originally. But then the sender, heavenly principle, arrived before its completion. And then one of the researchers, the one who made the firmament, the one who evolving the firmament, Lisalim, which technically is not, Lisalim is not the one who made the firmament. It was it's not, is it called fail? It's not firmament, it's called fail, like like hiding, to hide something, right? Yunjin was the original researcher who created this fail thing, and it was evolved by Lisalim, his apprentice. And Lisalim make a deal with heavenly principle, and also yes, he is the one who failed Teyvat, and so hide Teyvat from the abyss, even though technically still Nibelung arrived. After that, the whole Frenary War happened. Anyway, we learn about. I have a question still. We'll talk about that. The ending. I keep moving along. I keep tangent here. The ending here, the signal, basically the signal that was sent by Frost Moon over 100 years ago was received by none other than Traveler. I mean, Lumin and Aether on their ship back then. That's the ending of this video. I mean, of this quest. So that's a big revelation. I don't know if that is the reason why they come to Teyvat. They found the coordinate of the origin of this signal, or maybe they just the message itself is the important one. I think the one that told by Ninin, by Eiji, about that you are not alone in the universe. There's still a lot of civilization there fighting for this threat, the abyss. The whole thing, I don't know if this foreshadowing for Genshin 2.0, we will see in the future. But so we don't know how. This only confirm one thing, that how, I guess, I assume this is how we come to Teyvat in the first place. And during that message, Lumin and Aether said, well, Lumin is the one that I play, is Lumin, basically the one who you play with, probably the one who talk first, and then at the end the other sibling will talk. But I You can check the video later on. I think if you come from the playlist, that probably before this video. If you come from the video list, I will release the wall quest after part 1 of version 7, which is after this video. There will be another video about gem income and stuff, and after that there will be fully wall quest of moon gazing. Again, the voice is static, so at first I wasn't sure who is that voice. Thankfully, before they reveal the name, I realized that that is the traveler, the voice. I don't know about English, but in Japanese, because of the static thing, it doesn't really easy to hear her voice, the Lumin voice, Yuki Aoi. But when she says something, the way she speak is kind of remind of Yuki Aoi. That's why I assume, is she traveler or not? And that's actually what happened. The next scene after that is the name of the traveler mentioned, Lumin. Which, whoa, what the... So again, I know for sure, I guess, that that's the reason why the fourth descender or us arrived in Teyvat. But I don't know if the signal also received by and no, the signal that was told by, I mean the content, I guess Egi was told the same content every single time, because the cycle of this moon gazing project is still occur. Even after this, there will be more of that project happening again. And I don't think the message that was sent in this quest is the one that received by us, because different time. That message is, again, because sound or radio wave travel longer than the actual light and everything. Basically, that message about us, that message that was sent by Lumin and Aether to this Nibelum, was the one that sent 500 years ago from their original, maybe more than that. I don't know how long ago was that. Basically, I'm saying is, I wonder if the other descender also received the message, like the second or maybe the third one. That's why they arrived in Teyvat. I don't know. They only confirm that us are the one who received that message, at least one of the receiver. I don't know about the other one. No, and I'm for sure Vanes is not part of that, because Vanes arrived even before the Project Moongazer exists. Which is how, there's still a question we're going to learn about that. How did Vanes discover Teyvat? I mean, Teyvat is not really hidden, I guess, before, but I want to know about that. We're going to learn about it in the future. There's one thing, I said in the beginning, that one thing that I still don't get answer. During this quest, I'm questioning one thing. The Moon Goddess. So, we only seen Moon Goddess once in Columbina perspective, back then in Arc Egg of Luna 4. Archon quest. And I have question throughout this quest. If you check that playthrough after this, or after before, depending on where you watch this, I question that why the Moon Goddess look human, because the Moon Goddess was created by Nibelung alongside the moon itself. That was before human ever come to Teyvat. Human like, the human like this, like humanoid, like this, like humanoid character, because dragon is still bipedal, I guess, back then, but it's still dragon face. But why Sonnet, Arya, and Canon all have human face, even though they create by dragon? I thought for sure the Moon Goddess will look like a dragon, draconic or something. I don't have any answer for that. I don't think the quest also answer that, so I don't know. We will have answer for that, maybe. I don't know why the Moon Goddess, or why the Moon Goddess doesn't look like dragon. Maybe because, again, you can see here I haven't explored, right? Maybe I think, this is my guess, we will learn a lot more when we explore this Frost Moon, the dragon facility, and hopefully we will learn about one of those is about Moon Goddess, because we don't really have any Moon Goddess in detail in this Frost Moon. We only learn about the whole dragon stuff. So maybe we're gonna learn, well, beside the dragon stuff, of course, we also hopefully will learn about the Moon Goddess itself, because this is Frost Moon. Maybe the information about Moon Goddess or something, we don't really know about them, except for the one where we saw them in that sequence in Columbina first POV. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna learn more when I explore, I guess. I don't know, we will see, unless they didn't tell us now, maybe in the artifact or something, I don't know. Some snake. Yeah, that's all for the moon gazing world quest. You can see the playthrough. I released that after this video again because of the whole backlog. That's I only released 3 videos a day, so yeah, that's why the timing of the release will be after this video. If you come from the video list, not playlist, I will put this video as the last video in Luna Egg playlist video. I mean, you know what I mean. So yeah, overall, like I said, 8.1 for our Sandrone story quest. 8.8, I can say 9 point something actually. Yeah, why 8.8? Because I like number 8, but what I'm saying is number 8 is my favorite number because of symmetrical, vertically and horizontally. That's why 8.8 is the highest score in my eyes. But I guess if I'm more subjective in terms of scoring, I give the world quest 9.5. To be honest, I really like this. It told us a bigger thing. The lore, it talk us about a lot. Back then, when we come to Natlan, people confused. Why we talk about this dragon? Out of nowhere, we have dragon. Blah blah. Dragon is the integral part of Teyvat story. It's the original home. Teyvat is land of dragon before human come. So yes, this whole thing, the lore, I really like when they talk about dragon lore because that's the origin. They are technically the host. What am I saying? Basically, the citizen of Teyvat originally. So even though most of them become Sahuria now, I wish the descendant become Saurian. We know from Natlan story. Anyway, yeah, that's all for this video. Final thought of Luna Egg. I cannot wait to see SNES Naya. I cannot wait to learn more about Heavenly Principle, especially it is how they arrive in Teyvat and why. I thought we learned a lot about them technically from book, from such about the whole Furinari, especially during Furinari War about them. Again, we learned about from the other source in the like for example Sun and Moon, that when the Panes arrive in Teyvat originally, they technically not really hostile toward the dragon. They live together, so human and dragon can live together for a while until I guess if I remember, Panes want to hold some rule to Teyvat, but then they just accept. I mean the dragon, especially the Moon Goddess, who at the time is the ruler of the dragon. Which again, I wanna know for sure if Moon Goddess look like dragon before they look like human. Again, I don't know. We never learn about that up until Nibelung arrival, and then they wage war against the Heavenly Principle to bring the ruler to become to make sure the dragon become the actual ruler again of Teyvat originally. And then of course the dragon and the human fight war with the whole moon shenanigan happened. Nicole told about this when we in Hyperborea. I think it was Act 3 or Act 4 actually, Act 3 or Act 4 in our conquest that Nicole told us about the whole story. One thing for sure though, I need to read more artifact. I think there's some of the answer is in the artifact which I never read. I only start reading in the new artifact, and moving forward I will always read them. So we have 2 new artifacts we're gonna read in part 1. No, in part 2. Because I need to explore the yes, part 1 is after the update. I don't think I will move to the dungeon immediately. So part 2, when I begin Archon story of SNES Naya, I will read artifact. I will do the whole shenanigan stuff. Anyway, that's all for this video. Until next time. Actually, no, before we end the video, so we know that SNES Naya will be above here. If I remember from what they said about the... Yeah, so I will go here. No. I will go to the top of this mountain, so I can see how the region changed after the update. The update is not really that big somehow. It's only 3 GB, which is weird. Where is the rail? No, not this one. Mistake were made. There's another shortcut, I think, over here. When we able to go to the top of the building. I think it was somewhere here.
くだらない。
Where is it? This one Kufaki rail that I can use to go to the top of this mountain. Maybe I don't need to. Let's just go to the side here. Maybe we can see. I want to see how the Snezhnaya. And by the way, I found out that that area is where Koitar is originally. Well, where she was banished by the ruler of Fate. Oh, let's go there. Let's go there. I want to see how Snezhnaya change after. This is something that I do last time as well. Oopsie, I'm sorry, Sandrone. What am I doing? I will stand in this thing. How do I sorry. I will stand here. So I assume Snezhnaya will be around this area. So I will move my character like this. Right? This is Snezhnaya. Facing Snezhnaya. What is this? So yeah, this is where we left off. See you guys when we see this map change. When you log in first time after the update. Until next time. Bye.